Hey guys, it's Bridget with San Diego Seed Company, and it's May, and we're in Ramona at our farm, and I'm so excited to give you a little farm tour and show you how we've grown, what we've been doing, and why my back is killing me. It's because we've been spending so much time on the farm getting prepped for the very first full summer that we've been out here, and we're hoping it's going to be a bountiful summer and full of production of new varieties of seed for you guys, lots of research and trialing, and just everything farmy that I love. So before I get into that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you're notified anytime we put out a video. So first off, I want to give a shout out to those who came to our farm tour, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, because if you are watching this and you came to the farm tour, now you can see everything has exploded in size since you were last here. You can see these tomatoes are, I don't know, 2-3 times as big as they were. That's in part because it's just the days are getting longer, it's getting warmer, and they're really just getting into their groove. We've got tons of new varieties of dwarf tomatoes that we are trialing. Very happy that we have lots of pollinator and beautiful flowers interplanted in between our crops. We're hoping for lots of bees and pollinators to be buzzing on the farm this summer to help with our pollination. It's been a little bit of a struggle. We ran into some issues, as any farmer does, but thankfully with our resources and the people who have been willing to help us, we have made some big changes. Number one, we have a roof on the greenhouse. So for those of you who have seen our old videos or came to the farm tour, you know that that was actually just like a piece of plastic flapping in the wind. We did get it replaced. My arms were jello afterwards, but we got it up, we got it on. Big thank you to those who came out and helped with that. But now we have a place to dry our seed crops that is secure. It's not gonna get rained on. Really super excited about that. So yeah, this is the tomatoes on the farm. We have over 800 tomato plants growing right now. We've got tons of different varieties, some that are being grown for seed production, some that are simply going to be trialed to decide, are they good enough to make it into our collection? And some that are gonna be grown because Mama needs to make some sauce. So over here is the field that is the newest, if you wanna call it that, in the sense of it was the last one developed, and the soil over here is terrible. Despite the fact that we've added a truckload of compost, you know, the soil's really bad because it just sat fallow for so long and we get so little rain. There wasn't a lot of microbes in the soil that were working and making the soil happy and healthy. But now that we're irrigating, things look really good. You can see I've got a huge swath of corn. This is glass gem corn, one of our most popular corns that people purchase, and we are growing it out. Very excited about that. We're hoping to get many, many pounds of seed corn off of this to supply all of our growers and our gardeners with this gorgeous variety. We'll have tons of videos of that when it's up and producing because it's such a cool corn. Because this is the newest field, we still have a silage tarp on half of it. This helps us keep the weeds down. It's also helping to bake out. It helps to germinate and then bake some of the weed seeds that are in the soil so that we have a little less work to do. It's not foolproof, but it is very, very helpful. And it is a way in which we can manage our weeds without using pesticides or insecticides or herbicides or anything like that. Let's go check out our flowering seed crops. Okay, so we have over here my pride and joy. That's the second time I did that. I don't know if that's good enough, but my pride and joy. This is one of our flowering fields, and it's so exciting because a lot of these crops were planted in the fall. That is how long seed production takes. And I've had to battle the gophers and the crows and everything else under the sun to keep this stuff alive. And we are finally reaping the benefits of our hard work, and we have gorgeous flowering plants. For those of you who have never seen a flowering carrot, it's my favorite flower of all time. It's stunning, and gosh, when are they going to invent that way when you can smell through the camera? I'm waiting for someone to invent that because it has this really sweet, delicate smell that's amazing. So this is all carrot seed production. I would have had more had the gophers not beat me to it. This is what we got left. I'm trapping them as much as I can. Then we also have some flowering Portuguese kale that looks amazing, and it has beautiful flowers. You can see just a gang of bees. They're doing the work for me. They're moving that pollen from flower to flower. They look so happy, and I love how beautiful the blooms are on this Portuguese kale. It really looks amazing. So these look great, and then if we hop over here, we have some really nice, if I do say so myself, really good looking rows of flowering lettuce. These blooms literally just opened up this morning, so you guys are getting the first view of the lettuce flowers. And again, we did have some loss to gophers, but luckily, you know, there's, I don't know, 200, 400, there's like 800 plants here. So even though the gophers took some of them, it's okay. I have plenty left. So if you haven't seen lettuce go to flower, this is the flower. It's a very dainty, adorable flower. And once those close, then we will have seed production probably by the end of the summer. So this is almost going to be a year-long endeavor to get this lettuce seed. So for those of you who asked why seed is so expensive, that's one of the reasons. But it looks really beautiful right now. We're so proud of it. It's been just a massive amount of work, and there's been many times this last year that I have asked my husband and my friends, am I crazy? I think I'm crazy. And I know I'm crazy because this is a really hard thing to do, and it's not for the faint of heart for sure. But very excited that we can celebrate now that we've made some progress. So let's go look at our tomatoes. Okay, so we're in our other tomato patch. You can tell that these tomatoes are very different than the dwarf tomatoes. They're huge, they're taking over everything. We've kind of half-assed trellised them. It all comes down to labor and time and energy. And so we trellis them enough to get them up off the ground, but because they're seed production, I'm not as concerned about them being trellised perfectly. These are some varieties that we're trialing, and they may or may not make it into the catalog, but they look really good right now. And a funny little story about this whole patch, I got really bored in like December, I don't know why, and started a bunch of seeds way too early. Then had them in the greenhouse. They were too big, they were getting overgrown, and I was stressing about it. And then I had to plant them out here too early. Then I had to keep them covered. And for like 4 weeks, all I did was stress that all my tomatoes were gonna die. They all made it, they look amazing. But I just want to give you a warning, sometimes starting super early is not worth the stress, because they really didn't do anything in those few weeks when it was still chilly. And I just, you know, had to stress about losing them. They look really good. You can tell over here, these guys, we didn't even trellis them. They're so bushy and beautiful. We're just gonna leave them as is. Really not a big deal. I do want to show you a sneak peek on these guys. These are the very first tomatoes to produce on our farm. They have produced very early. They are a determinate variety of tomato called Taxi, one of my favorites. We've produced it several years in a row, and this is the year that we're gonna produce a large amount of them because they produce early. They could stand the cold nights, even though we planted them way too early. And they are determinate, so they're gonna give you a lot of tomatoes early in the season, right when you want them, right? I want tomatoes now. I don't wanna wait till July. So these are gonna be ready in a matter of a couple weeks. Really excited about those. You can see over here, we've got our garlic, which still isn't doing much because it's garlic and it's forming its bulbs underground. A lot of people on our Instagram and Facebook have asked us, you know, why their garlic is browning on the end. You can tell mine are doing it too. It's not a big deal. It's just a natural process as the plant is getting older. The greens aren't looking as good. I am gonna turn off the water actually, and I might give it maybe 2 more weeks to let these guys get bigger, and then I'll let them cure in the ground until I pull them out at the end of the summer. But they look good. We have pulled some immature that were immature just to eat because they're so tasty. That's the great thing about garlic. Harvest it now, use what you want, and then leave the rest in the ground. So we have over here some really exciting new crops. So this is a cucumber variety. Ooh, I have babies! Look. First of the season. So these are a new variety of cucumber that we're trialing. These came from a friend of ours who swears by them. And they're very different in the sense of they don't need to grow up a trellis. Look how beautiful and compact these are. They're cute, adorable little bushes, and they do not produce long cucumbers like you see in the grocery store. Instead, they produce adorable, kind of oblong cucumbers that are great for slicing and putting on sandwiches. And they're just really beautiful. They have done really well out here. You can tell they look really nice. And yeah, another brand new variety that may or may not make it into the catalog, but so far we're very impressed on how they're doing. We have this plastic down. This is to help prevent weeds. It's really helped my back. And then you can see through here we have squash. So this is striata. We haven't had this variety in a really long time, and I'm super excited to hopefully get somewhat of a good crop off these this summer so that we can reintroduce them back into our catalog. Another variety that we have over here that we're excited to hopefully offer at a bigger scale. This is our sunset runner beans. Love these because, like a scarlet runner bean, they grow super prolifically. But they also produce these adorable light cream colored, like it's a rose pink colored bloom that's just stunning. So we're hoping with a little bit of luck, this whole trellis will fill up this summer and it will be quite the show of blooms. And then this fall we'll have tons of seeds. So as you can see, the farm is in its prime right now. Everything's growing, everything's happy. We haven't really gotten that hot yet. The days have been really agreeable, so there's still plenty of time for things to fry. But just let's hope that's not the case. We've got everything irrigated. We're doing everything we can with shade cloth, soil amendment, and just careful watching of the farm to try to ensure that plants grow happy and healthy. So that's our farm, and it's teeny tiny compared to some people's huge farms, or it might be really big compared to your small urban space. But it doesn't matter. I want to hear how your garden's doing and what you're growing that you're super excited about.